Welcome to Learning English, a daily 30-minute program from the Voice of America. I'm Ashley Thompson.
And I'm Mario Ritter Jr. This program is designed for English learners, so we speak a little slower and we use words and phrases especially written for people learning English.
On today's program, you will hear reports from Mario Ritter Jr. and John Russell. Later, Katie Weaver presents this week's education report. We close the show with the lesson of the day from Andrew Smith and Jill Robbins. But first, Mario Ritter Jr. has this story.
Researchers in Shanghai are developing a robot guide dog that could help blind people. The robot is currently being tested in Shanghai. The machine uses cameras and sensors to navigate its environment. It is able to recognize traffic light signals, which traditional guide dogs are unable to recognize. The robot can communicate. It is able to listen and speak with a blind operator. The robot also uses artificial intelligence, AI, to recognize voices, plan ways to go from place to place, and identify traffic lights. The robot dog is described as being about the size of an English bulldog, but a little wider than a real dog. It has 6 legs instead of 4 because the researchers say the extra legs make it more stable, making its movements smoother. Professor Gao Feng is the head of the research team that is developing the dog at Jiaotong University's School of Mechanical Engineering. When 3 legs are lifted, there are still 3 legs. It is the most stable shape, he said. 41-year-old Li Fei and 42-year-old Zhu Sebin are among the people with vision problems who are helping the Jiaotong University team. They are testing the dog using Chinese language commands. Li is completely blind, while Zhu has limited eyesight. He normally uses a cane to walk. Li said, "If this robot guide dog comes onto the market and I could use it, at least it could solve some of my problems in traveling alone." Robot guide dogs are also under development in Australia and Britain. But China has a big shortage of traditional guide dogs. Gao said there are just over 400 guide dogs in China for nearly 20 million blind people. Pet ownership and service animals are a fairly new idea in the country. Many workplaces, restaurants, and public areas do not welcome a usual service dog like a Labrador. The supply of real dogs is limited by breeding and training needs. Gao said the production of robot guide dogs could be increased to an industrial level, especially in a manufacturing center like China. It's a bit like cars. I can mass-produce them in the same way as cars, so they will become more affordable, Gao said. The researcher thinks there could be a large market for his robot dogs. There might be tens of millions of people in the world who need guide dogs, he added. I'm Mario Ritter Jr.
South Sudan is home to what some wildlife experts say is the world's largest land animal migration, or seasonal movement of animals. But government officials fear illegal hunting threatens the animals and may hurt the development of a sustainable tourism industry. An estimated 6 million antelope participated in a migration last year, the country's first major aerial wildlife study says. The estimate from the non-profit African Parks, which did the work along with the government, is far greater than estimates of other large animal movements around the world. The recently released study used data collected over a 2-week period in 2 national parks and nearby areas, covering a continuous area of 122,774 square kilometers. But the group warned that the animals face a rising threat from illegal hunting. The country is filled with weapons, but does not have strong law enforcement. Mike Fay is a scientist who led the study. Fay said, "Saving the last great migration of wildlife on the planet is an incredibly important thing." He added, "There's so much evidence that the world's ecosystems are collapsing." The East African nation is still emerging from 5 years of fighting that started in 2013 and killed nearly 400,000 people. Elections scheduled for last year were delayed to this December, but few preparations are in place for those. Violence continues in some areas, with some 2 million people displaced and 9 million, 75% of the population, depending on humanitarian aid, the United Nations says. The migration is already being talked about as a point of national pride by a country trying to move beyond its past. Large advertisements of the migration recently went up in the capital city of Juba, and the government hopes the animals will bring many visitors to the country. South Sudan has 6 national parks and over 10 game reserves, covering more than 13% of the land. The migration stretches from east of the Nile River in Badingilo and Boma parks into neighboring Ethiopia. It includes 4 main antelope, the white-eared cob, of which there are some 5 million, the tiang, the Mongala gazelle, and the Bohor reedbuck. The study said some numbers of animals have increased since a more limited one in 2010. But it described a catastrophic decline of most non-migratory species in the last 40 years, such as the hippo, elephant, and warthog. Associated Press reporters flying over the migration of antelope in early June saw few giraffes and no elephants, lions, or cheetahs. Trying to protect the animals over such a large area is difficult. In recent years, new roads have increased people's access to markets, leading to more illegal hunting. Years of flooding have meant crop failures that have left some people with little choice but to hunt for food. African parks estimated some 30,000 animals were being killed each month between March and May this year. Villagers near the parks told AP they mostly hunted to feed their families or to exchange the animals for goods. the government has not made protecting wildlife a main concern. Less than 1% of its budget is spent on the Wildlife Ministry, which said it has few cars to move rangers around to protect animals. Those rangers say they have not been paid since October. In addition, the rangers say that illegal hunters have more weapons than they do. But South Sudan President Salva Kiir Mayardit said the country is committed to turning its wealth of wildlife into sustainable tourism. He said he wanted the Ministry of Wildlife to increase training and equip rangers to fight illegal hunting. I'm John Russell.
A 17-year-old vocational school student from rural China is being celebrated on social media after reaching the final round of a math competition. She defeated many other students from top universities around the country. Zhang Ping, who is studying fashion design, finished 12th in the Alibaba Global Math Competition. She is one of 802 competitors who made it to the final round, an 8-hour test that took place recently. Damo Academy, the organizer of the competition, posted a video that included an interview with Zhang on social media. It received more than 800,000 likes and 90,000 comments shortly after it was posted. Zhang says in the video that she did not think she deserved to join the competition. She also says she enjoys working on high-level math as it brings out my desire to explore. Congratulations poured in. People visited her parents' home in a village of the Jiangsu area on China's east coast. They brought alcohol and money to show support. Her pictures were shown on the walls of shopping centers in her hometown, Lianshui. Zhejiang University and Jiangsu University praised her on their Weibo social media accounts. It is unclear how Zhang ended up in vocational school. However, her story reminded some people in China of the inequality between rural and urban areas. Some believe the divide can make it harder for even the best students to climb the economic ladder. While Zhang Ping is openly celebrated, many Chinese feel deep down inside that her story highlights the hopelessness of Chinese education, said Zhang Shuiqing, a China-based education researcher. He said that citizens without power, wealth, or guanxi, the Chinese term for connections, have little chance of success. In recent years, inequality in education appears to have worsened. China spent 17% less on education in rural areas than in cities in 2019 for the required 9 years of education. That does not include high school. In 2013, spending was only 2% lower in rural areas. The findings are based on data from a Peking University report on the urban-rural divide in spending per capita. Ministry of Education data show that 70% of students in Chinese vocational schools are from rural areas. The high percentage suggests that the education system works like a caste system, Zhang, the researcher, said. A caste system divides and groups people into a leveled social order. Zhang, the rural student, is the only vocational school student among all the finalists. The others, who are mostly Chinese, mainly come from top universities, such as the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and California Institute of Technology, as well as China's top two schools, Tsinghua University and Peking University. Winners will be awarded $2,000 to $30,000 in prize money. The large Chinese e-commerce company, Alibaba, established the competition 6 years ago. The company's leader at the time, Jack Ma, said the goal was to find students who enjoy math and then encourage and support them. Zhang did well enough on the entrance exam to go to high school, an official with the vocational school told state broadcaster CCTV. The official said Zhang applied to the vocational school instead of a high school because her older sister and good friends were students there. Other Chinese media said it was because she came from a poor family, and the vocational school gave her a scholarship. Zhang says in the video that she plans to get into a good university. The Associated Press was not able to reach the student for comment. I'm Katie Weaver.
You just heard this week's education report from Katie Weaver. She joins us now to talk a little bit more about the story. Hi, Katie. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Your report centered on a student from a vocational school in China. What does vocational mean?
Vocational education is often training in a trade or specific skill. It could mean study in automobile repair, for example, or landscape design, or medical assistance services. But there are lots of other fields of vocational education, too.
Okay, thanks for that explanation, Katie, and thank you for your report today.
You're most welcome.
My name is Anna Mateo.
My name is Andrew Smith.
And I'm Jill Robbins.
You're listening to The Lesson of the Day on the Learning English podcast. Today's lesson helps you do more with Level 2 of our video series, Let's Learn English. This series shows Anna Mateo in her work and life in Washington, D.C.
At the beginning of Lesson 5 of Level 2, Anna feels like she needs a break from work. At that moment, she sees an advertisement near the street. The advertisement, or ad, has a question in large letters and a picture of a beach.
The question says,
Do you need a vacation?
The name of a travel agency is written at the bottom of the ad. It says, World's Best Travel Agency.
Agency is a word for a kind of business that helps people with some plans or that provides a service for another business. In addition to travel agency, some examples are insurance agency, advertising agency, and employment agency.
The word agency can also mean a government administration or office, such as a security agency.
Anna decides to visit the travel agency she saw in the advertisement.
And it's not just any travel agency. It should be very special because it is called the world's best travel agency.
The word best is the superlative form of the adjective good. And Lesson 5 of Level 2 reviews the comparative and superlative forms.
The words better and best, and the words worse and worst are special examples of these comparative and superlative forms.
Let's listen to the first part of Anna's visit to the agency. And be sure to listen for the superlative form.
No, you can't get your money back. I don't care that it was your worst vacation ever. Hello, have a seat. Welcome to the world's best travel agency.
Thank you. And congratulations.
For what?
For being the world's best travel agency.
Right. Thanks. Trudy, hold my calls. I'm going to sell our most expensive vacation.
The travel agent, played by our colleague Dan, thinks Anna will buy the most expensive vacation he offers because Anna believes his agency really is the best one.
In other words, he thinks Anna is naive and gullible.
That means he thinks she will believe whatever he says and that she can be easily tricked.
Naive is spelled N-A-I-V-E, and we put 2 little dots above the letter I to show that we pronounce that vowel separately. And gullible is spelled G-U-L-L-I-B-L-E.
Dan tells his assistant, Trudy, to hold his calls. When we call a business, we often get put on hold on the phone. That means we have to wait to speak to someone.
Dan says, "Hold my calls," to show he does not want to be interrupted. Let's listen to the first kind of vacation the agent tries to sell Anna.
The mountain getaway is good for you. It's a little pricey, but think of it. You on top of a mountain for 7 days.
I'm afraid of high places.
The adjective pricey means expensive, and the comparative form is pricier, and the superlative form is priciest. Now let's listen to more vacations Dan tries to sell Anna.
I'm afraid of high places.
Of course you are. That's why our deep sea adventure is better for you. It is pricier than the mountain getaway. Just you and the animals of the sea.
Shark! Shark! Shark!
No, there are no sharks in your dream vacation. You need the safari campout. It is our priciest vacation, but I think it's the best one for you. During the day, you'll see elephants, giraffes, and lions. At night, you'll sleep out under the stars.
Look, I think this was a bad idea.
Sure, you can leave, but then you won't see the latest vacation technology.
When Dan says the latest, he isn't referring to being on time or not being on time. Instead, we say the latest to describe something that is the newest or most modern.
For example, we can say the latest technology, the latest news, the latest styles, the latest ideas, and so on.
And in casual speech, we might ask someone, "So, what's the latest?" This just means, what is the news or most recent information about a particular topic?
Now, let's listen to Professor Bott explain a bit more.
Did you find all of those adjectives? Dan started with good. Then he moved to better. And finally, he said the safari campout was the best vacation for Anna.
You can repeat the forms to help you remember them, like this. Good, better, best. Good, better, best. Good, better, best.
And you can do the same for the negative forms. Bad, worse, worst. Bad, worse, worst. Bad, worse, worst.
Now, let's see if Dan can get Anna to stay and see the latest in vacation technology.
Sure, you can leave, but then you won't see the latest vacation technology.
Exactly what is the latest vacation technology? Exactly.
I'm happy you asked. Meet the TravelMax 2000.
Wow.
So tell me how you like to travel.
I like travel that is cozy and romantic, but still exciting.
Great. Tell me more.
I like traveling in a plane, but not in a helicopter. Planes are a little scary, but helicopters are scarier. My favorite way of traveling is by train. Ships can be the scariest. Have you seen the movie Titanic? Oh, and no horses. I will ride a camel. Oh, and no bike tours. Biking is the slowest and least romantic way to travel. Excuse me, but I think the TravelMax 2000 is on fire.
Yes, we're both on fire. We really want to sell you the the best vacation ever.
No, I mean it's really on fire.
You killed it! You killed the TravelMax 2000.
I am so sorry.
Oh.
Can I help you fix it?
No.
Don't cry. I know what you need.
Oh.
A vacation.
Oh,
the safari campout looks fun. It is the priciest, but I think you deserve it.
No.
This is the smokiest lesson yet. I can't breathe. Just go to the website.
It's true. You can learn more from our website. Remember that each lesson of Let's Learn English has a lesson plan you can download for free. It explains more about the lesson and has helpful information for both students and teachers.
And listeners, here are some questions for you. You can email us your answers. What have been some of your best and worst travel experiences? What would be the best kind of vacation for you? And what is scary for you? What is the scariest situation you have ever been in?
You can email your answers to learningenglish@voanews.com, and we might mention your answers in a future podcast.
Thanks for listening, and be sure to write to us.
Remember that you can also find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm Jill Robbins.
And I'm Andrew Smith.
And that's our program for today. Join us again tomorrow to keep learning English through stories from around the world. I'm Ashley Thompson.